Thank you, Ms. Tilakshana, for the warm welcome. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce today's resource person, Mr. Ivan Tirimavitana, CTF Engineer, Legion Offensive Security, Associate Analyst, Managed Security Service, Millennium IT ESP, and Mr. Kulindu Kodituaku, Founder, Legion's Offensive Security. We are truly honored to have both of you with us today. Welcome. Without further delay, I would like to hand over the session to you.
Thank you very much. Am I audible to you?
Yes, yes, you are.
Okay.
Yeah, Amida, you are audible.
So, good evening, everyone. I'm Aminda Vijaysinha from Legion Offensive Security. So, let me share my screen first. I'll be starting the session for you today. Is my screen visible to you?
Yes, Aminda.
Okay. So today's session is focused on helping you understand how CTFs work in practice. So we'll be first covering three main areas today, starting off with a CTF platform demonstration, then moving on to steganography and digital forensics, and finally a walkthrough on solving a full phone challenge. So to begin, I'll walk you through the platform and how you will actually interact with the challenges. Let me switch to the other screen. Okay, is this visible to you?
Yes.
Hello. Yes, right?
Yeah, it's clear. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So first, you'll have to visit our platform, which is ctf.legionoffensivesecurity.com, and then over to the left side, you will see this profile icon, and this is where you can log in or register for the platform. And so if you're new, just go ahead and create an account. You just click register and put your details in. Okay, once you're done with that, this next step is only for the team leaders. You will have to go to this icon, which is the team icon, and create a team for you. So you will only have to add your team name. And create the team. So Once you're done with that, here you will have an invitation code for the rest of your team members to join the team. So once you're done creating the team, you'll only have to share this team code with the rest of the team members. And as for the team members, you just have to register for the platform and then click on join team and enter the team code here and join the team. So once the team is set up, the next step is to joining the CTF event. So you'll have to go to the home page, and here you'll have a list of events that are available for you. So you click on this one. So also on the name of the game, you will be receiving a separate team code to register for the event. So this will be shared with you on the with the admins. So once you put that in, you will be able to log into the game and look at the challenges you have. So on this left panel, you'll see the challenges organized into categories, and in a real CTF, you will usually see multiple categories like web, forensics, crypto, reversing, and so on. But for today, we only have a couple of categories just for demonstration. So to get more details about the challenge, you just have to click on the challenge name and you'll see the description here. This is where all the important information like what files you have and what you have the steps to solving the challenge. So for example, like a forensic challenge that we have open now, we will have a file that you might need to download and download for the challenge. So once you have found the flag, this is where you will enter the flag, and it will also show if you have submitted the correct flag or not on the platform itself. So on this right side, you will also notice a notice section. So if new challenges are released or hints are given or any changes are made to a new challenge, it will show up here. And finally, for the scoreboard, this will show your team's ranking and how other teams are performing in real time. So we also have we also give points on for the teams who are doing let's say a team is solving a challenge first, then they will get 5% more plus the points of the challenge. So on we are giving more points for first, second, and the third team who are solving the challenge first. So overall, this is about our platform. You just have to log in, create or join a team, and enter the CTF to solve the challenges. So yes, if you have any questions on the platform and any clarifications you need to make on this, please do ask. Okay, no questions, right? So I'll be heading over to Ivan to take you with the rest of the session now. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Amindya. Just give me a second. Okay. Hi, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. So, yes, my name is Ivan. I hope I'm clear. Am I audible? Uh, Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
That's awesome. And also, I believe you all can see my screen as well, right?
Yes, Ivan.
Awesome. Awesome. So, hi, guys. So, hope you all are having a great day. Yes, my name is Ivan, and I am a CTF engineer with Legion Offensive. I mostly specialize in digital forensics and open source intelligence challenges. So if you do happen to get a hard one, be sure to scold me. So moving on. So I believe all of you all might have some experience, or maybe you all might be veterans in playing CTFs. But keeping this as a foundational session, we can go ahead with what is digital forensics. So digital forensics is basically the art of collecting data and trying to create what happened during a timeline of events, which is then brought up into, for example, investigation or to finding out what was the real cause of this incident, right? This can be applicable a a breach or to a incident that occurred within a company. Digital forensics would be your procedure or your process that you would follow to identify them. So moving on. So now since this is about CTFs, we will see how do we apply digital forensics into CTFs. Now I know it's not practical to include a full-on incident, a full-on corporate level breach into CTFs. It's quite big, right? So how we keep it quite simple and quite challenging for the players is we include a variety of forensic methods, you would say, right? So we have steganography. Steganography is basically the act of hiding data within legitimate objects. For example, you get a picture, you receive an email. The picture might seem clean to you at the first. It might be a meme. It might be a logo. But behind this image, there is malicious data that's already within this that we cannot see in our plain eyes. So I believe you all have heard this for example, when it comes to opening PDFs, when it comes to opening Excel files. This is a very common tactic used, in the cybersecurity domain, right? So let's dive into so that's one of the challenges that you will face actually when it comes to playing CTFs, when it comes to playing CTFs in general, right? So let's go on to what are the common tools. Now if you are a veteran player, you would by now know what these tools are, but if you are new to playing CTF, these are the tools that we use normally for CTFs when it comes to forensics level CTF. So as you can see, first off, we have Wireshark. If you have heard of Wireshark, Wireshark is blatantly a network traffic analyzer. If you have a .pcap file, this is a tool that you would mainly use to analyze what are the packets that went through and so on and so forth, right? And then we have Binwalk. So other thing that will come across in CTFs, especially in forensics, is that you will get a firmware file. It can be a router firmware. It can be a firmware of a well-known network device. It can be anything, right? And this firmware is normally packed in a .bin file. So this is what Binwalk would do. It would help you to unpack all of those files into a full-on file structure, helping you analyze it deeper and helping you find the flag eventually, right? And then moving on, we have the steganography tools. We have StegHide and StegSeek, right? So StegHide is basically a tool that you will be using to either hide data within images. This is mostly known for JPEG files. So if you're trying to hide data within JPEG files, this is a tool that you would mainly use, StegHide. You can also use it the same way to extract data from JPEG files. Again, this highly depends on if that file is password protected, because the image can be viewable to you, but to access that information behind that image, it would require password. So you can also use StegHide if you know the password to extract it. And now we are coming to StegSeek. So StegSeek is basically now normally when you now as I mentioned before in StegHide, you would have to know the password to access that data that is behind the image. If you do not know the password, you would have to resort to what? Brute forcing the file, right? So that's where StegSeek will come. It will help you in brute forcing that file and basically getting that data out. And then when it comes to forensics, we also come across zip files. So zip files will not normally, be plainly plainly like decrypted, it would obviously have a password on it, which is where fcrack zip would help you in cracking that. Will help brute forcing a word list against the entirety of the zip, will help cracking a word list against the zip file, helping you to unzip it. Yeah. Then we have zsec. It's the same thing as takeseek, but this is for png files and BMP files, right? Then we have PDF Stego for PDF files. Then we have something called Audacity. Now, also in forensics, you would get audio files where you would have to decode audio or Morse code, or maybe view a spectrogram of the audio, right? A spectrogram is basically how frequencies are mapped, right? This can also reveal messages. The spectrogram can reveal messages. This is the tool that you would want to use, for that, right? Then we have CyberChef. I hope most of you all might know the tool CyberChef. It's quite a common tool, right? This is your handy tool decode for decoding or encoding data. So when it comes to CTFs, mostly 80% to 90% of the time, flags will be encoded in base 64, right? So base 64 is an encoding standard. So you can use CyberChef to either decode it, or if you want to encode it, you can do it as well. So yes, so let's move on with, now since this is a standard session, let's move on with a demo of how a sample challenge would be solved, right? So I hope, so if I'm going to go to my VM, and I hope everyone can see my screen. Can I get a confirmation if this is visible?
Yes, Joanne, we can see your screen.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks, Kulindu. So, yeah. So now, as you can see, I'm in the platform, and I have the challenge section open, as Amindia showed you before. So we have my challenge, which is the forensics challenge. So hidden in transit. So as you can see, it's an easy challenge. So we'll go ahead and read the description. So one key thing within CTFs, especially when it comes to CTFs organized by us as well, is that we like to leave hints within the description to help players get the first foothold, right? So it's best we read the description a bit so we can see. So firstly the name, hidden in transit, which basically emphasizes that something is hidden within whatever this challenge is, right? And then we have the description. So a routine packet capture from a single user session was flagged for review. Most of the activity looks normal, but one transfer stands out for all the wrong reasons. Follow the trail and figure out what was really sent. All right, so the description says that there's something suspicious happening within this PKF file. Find out what is that single packet that is suspicious. So let's go ahead and let's open that. So you can open PCAP files using Wireshark, as what I mentioned previously. I'm just going to move this to our UAV folder. So you can just go ahead and double click on this. Uh, and yep, there is a packet file. So these are all individual packets. As you can see, the protocol, DNS, ICMP, and TCP, right? So just blatantly looking at the traffic, we can see that there's a couple of DNS protocols directing to a couple of websites, and most of it, one is related to a file hosting domain under that site, right? So that is an indication. So usually when it comes to CTFs, when it comes to PCAP files, um, we normally like to hide how do I say? Normally like to hide objects within PCAP files, because the flag hiding is now quite uncommon nowadays, but it is still used. So we would also include flags in PCAP files. But nowadays, especially from my end, we would attach objects or attach images, files, whatever it is, into PCAP files. So going through this, we can just go briefly go through all of these connections, and that's a TCP connection. So usually, what I do as when I was playing CTFs as well is that I would usually go and follow what this TCP connection is. So we can check out what the actual communication was. So looking at it is a bunch of gibberish, bunch of jargon that's indicating that there's something heavy that was passed out during the TCP connection. So at the top, one thing that you would have to keep notice of is this part over here. As you can see, there was a file requested, a file was communicated, and that file name was secret.jpg, right? So that is the high indicator that this is the suspicious file that the description was talking about, right? So now how do we get this file locally and analyze it? Because that is No, this probably holds the flag. So now we have to know how to get it out, and that is basically, no, don't. Uh, you can go the long way, and you can decode all of this, encode all of this into base64 and copy paste them and reconstruct it. But that's a huge process. Instead, what I would recommend is that you go over here, over to File and Export Objects, as I mentioned before, and you go to HTTP. And over here, you have the file name secret.jpg. So I hope it's quite clear until now, right? So we'll go ahead and we'll save this specific file. Others are quite jargon files. So we'll go ahead and save it exactly in that folder. So, all right. So we have the file saved. I'm going to go back to my terminal. So I believe all of you all may be familiar with Linux. So if not, please go through Linux. It's a foundational element when it comes to cybersecurity. So all right, so we have the secret.jpg. So now let's open this JPEG file, and we can see, it's a standard meme, doesn't look too suspicious. I don't think there are any flags within this picture. I mean, not visually, but we never know. So since this was the only type of image that was exported, and there was no other traffic resembling of a flag communicated, and nor was it exposed in our TCP traffic, we'll just go ahead and we'll analyze this picture. So the picture now, what I normally like to do is I like to see if there are if there is a hidden if there's a hidden file behind this picture. And one thing that I would like to try is, again, as I mentioned, seek, steg hide, extract sf secret.jpg. Now I know this command looks a bit confusing to the new players over here. It does. You will get it once you start playing a lot of CTFs. This command line will be very, very familiar with you because it's going to be highly used, right? So it will take some time to get used to, but it will definitely, be embedded in your brain. So let's go ahead and run this, and it is directly asking us for the passphrase. So now, if you do remember what I talked earlier regarding stego cracking, right? Because now we have a password prompt, but we don't know, what the password is. Now I can type admin123. I don't think you all can see the password, but if I enter steg couldn't extract data with that passphrase. If I try I love you, still nothing, right? So now this is where we would have to use steg and since I have it in my history, I'll pull it up. So as you can see, I have pulled up the RockQ word list. So now, if you are, a cybersecurity student, you would happen to know what rockq.txt is. Rockq.txt is a very famous word list for cracking, for example, zip files for local-based cracking, like hash cracking. It's a very well-used, word list, right? So running this command, stegseek is, as I mentioned before, is a brute forcing binary that brute forces JPEG images with word list to find out if there's any data hidden behind this image, right? So let's run it. Again, the command is long, but over time, once you get used to it, you will inherently use it like this. So let's go ahead and use it. And there we go. So it was it was not even 5 seconds, and it gets the password directly, right? And our password is, you won't guess it, 4. So that is how we got our final, as you can see, original file name was flag.txt, and it is extracted to secret.jpg.out. So let's go ahead and cat that file, and there you go. That's your flag. So this is you can go ahead and verify it as well in the platform. I hope awesome. There we go. The flag was accepted, and that is our points. And as you can see, I got first blood on that CTF, on that challenge. So yeah, that's a bit about forensics. It's a very simple demo challenge, right? It does get a bit complex where you would have to crack zip files. Uh, you would have to find hidden files within folders, which is it will develop over experience. So if you haven't played CTFs before, please, I do recommend you start playing CTFs, even if it's online. There's Pico CTF. I recommend you go and play those. So anyway, so that's it from from the forensic side. So I'm going to hand it over to Kulindu, who will, I believe all of you all have been waiting for it, who will show you on how to tackle an actual machine, and how to enumerate and find the flags within an actual machine. So yeah, over to you, Kulidu. Thank you.
Thank you, Ivan. I'm audible, right? Everyone can hear me?
Yes, yes, you are.
Okay, let me share my screen. Everyone can see my screen, right? Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, Kolindu.
Okay, thank you, Aminda. So hi guys, I'm Kunal Kantuaka. I'm the founder of Legion Offensive Security. So today I'll be walking you guys through how to do a full pawn challenge. So before we, go to the demo and all of that, I'll, walk you guys through the process of doing a penetration test. So you guys can understand how things work in the real life and you can, relate this to the CTF as well. So when it comes to penetration tests, there are a few stages we go through. So starting off, we have something called a pre-engagement stage, and in that, what we do is we set the rules for an engagement. So what you usually do in this area is you would, set a set of rules of engagement. So that's a document we share beforehand, and also, we'll be sharing something called the scope, where, which is the okay, which has the scope of what we can test. So in this stage, once we have the rules of engagement and the scope, which specify what we can do, what we can't do, and to what specific IPs or URLs we can test, we go to a section called information gathering. So in this, what you do is there are two types of information gathering. There's active reconnaissance and there's passive reconnaissance. So in a scenario of a full pawn machine, what you would usually do is, go through, you find the IP, you'll be already be, you'll be provided with an IP. You'll run, what you call nmap scan, and you'll try to identify the services running in a specific machine. So once that is done, you'll go towards the section of vulnerability analysis. In this, what you do is, you initially identified a couple of services running on a machine. Let's say for an example, I was, doing information gathering on a Linux machine, and in that, I found that there was a SMB share and FTP server, and in this, at the vulnerability assessment stage, I can come up with a couple of scenarios on how to exploit this. So let's say for an example, the FTP server, what you can do there is test for misconfigurations like whether anonymous login is enabled, or are there any weak credentials. And again, when it comes to the SMB version, are there any specific anonymous logins or null logins? And then try to log in the exploitation stage. So in the exploitation stage, what you do is what you identified previously in the vulnerability assessment stage, you try to exploit it. So in this example, we'll try to log into the FTP server and then try to upload a file. Let's say if the FTP server is running on a web root where there's a PHP file server running, something you can do is try to upload a PHP reverse shell. So there's things like that which you can do. So once you've got the initial access to a certain machine, you can move towards the post exploitation stage. So in this, what you do is you had to go back again to the information gathering stage. So once you've gotten access to a certain environment, you can try and check whether you have certain permissions in the machine, whether you have other users in the machine, and whether you have some privilege over those users where you can take them over and privilege escalate to root. So there's things like that you can do in the information gathering stage. And then once that is done, you can try to laterally move, which is let's say I am user A, I can try to, laterally move to user 2, user B. So that is something you can do in the post exploitation stage, or you can try to set up persistence. If, let's say, this was a red team engagement and you send someone a phishing email which you found through like passive reconnaissance, like on LinkedIn. You find a certain person working in a certain company, you send them a phishing email and they download it, and they initially run whatever the exe or malicious PDF file which is sent to them, and you get initial access to a specific user machine. What you can do is you can try to keep your access there. So let's say if someone, if the person who is using that specific computer restarts the machine, you can lose a reverse shell, the shell you gain to the machine or the access. So what you can do is you can set persistence, where you can set up SSH key in the scenario of a Linux machine, or add a user to the window if it's a Windows machine, and there are specific things you can do. So once all of that is done, what you can do next is create a proof of concept on how you did what you did. So in the CTF stage, in our CTS, we usually do get write-ups as well. So in this scenario, what I'm trying to say is, whatever you do, have a proof of concept on how you did it as well. So because there might be issues you come across in the CTF. Let's say there was someone deleted a flag, someone modified a flag. We'll try to locate who did it. So at those stages, we'll come across certain logs and see whether you guys have accessed it, and we'll try to find out whether you mistakenly did it or whether you all did it intentionally. So in that cases, we'll go through your item and see whether this was done mistakenly or whether it was something to do with the way you all did the CTF. So yeah, that is the general scenario of how you would do a penetration test. So since that is out of the way, I'll move forward towards the demo. So yes, give me a minute. Apologies, I was on mute. But yeah, so what I was saying was, in a scenario of full pawn machine, let's say depending on the difficulty of the machine, we'll be deciding on whether we give you guys a description or whether we don't. Because if it's like a very easy machine like the current box here, we won't be giving you a description because this is like really easy. So what we'll be giving you is the IP for the machine. So from here, what you have to do is, run a service scan, figure out what services are there, and try to exploit them as we talked previously. So let's run an nmap scan on this certain IP. And also something to mention while the nmap is running is always when you're doing a machine, there will be two sections to submit your flags. One would be the user and one would be the root. So to start off, initially start with the user flag because that is the flag you get when you get initial access. So the root flag is what you get after you privilege escalate and take over the entire machine. So always start with the user flag and go to the root flag. Don't start with the root flag because sometimes in CTFs people try to submit the user flag to the root flag and mix things up. So yeah, while this is running, so this has discovered that there are a couple of codes open. One is FTP, and they also have SMB. So, as I mentioned previously, there are a couple of things you can test for in this. So, in this, in this scenario, what we'll do is we'll try to check whether there are any misconfigurations in the FTP server. We'll start with that because that is already there. Wait a minute. Let me minimize this. Okay. So initially, what we'll do is we'll try to check if there's anonymous access to FTP. So for that, what you'll usually do is check whether you can log in as anonymous. So the usual way you usually do is type FTP anonymous at the IP, and they'll ask for a password. You can leave this blank and see whether you can log in. So in my scenario, you can log in successfully. So what you can do here is check whether there are any files or whether you are in a, let's say, uh, web group. So in this scenario, when I check this is, I can see there are two files. There is no files, evidence of this being a web root or there being any, files for configuration. So what I can do is I can download these files and see what's present within these files. So for that, what I'll do is I'll download this and I'll download these files. So you can usually easily do this with get and the file name as well. I just downloaded mget so you can download all files at once. So once we have gotten all the files, what you can check is we can check what's inside these files. So let's see, get the notice file. So in this, you can see this. There's a message addressed to a certain person saying their workstation pin was reset after the audit. And they're them asking to keep a secure copy in your vault. So in this scenario, what you have to do is you have to think out of the box. So this is addressed to a certain person. In this scenario, you can think this person is actually a user in the certain machine. So once that is up, we can check the README file as well. This is part of the information gathering side as well. This is a bit of information gathering, exploitation, and VA all mixed together. So as you can see, there's a note saying if your share token rotates weekly, use netshare 42 to test if text access if needed. So what this is usually saying is if your password has been reset, try netshare 42 with exclamation and see whether it's a password. So in this scenario, you can think that the note is, let's say asking Samir, telling Samir that pin was reset. You can check whether this is actually viable to log in as Samir and see whether Samir has any SMB shares, or at least if he has access to SMB shares. So what you can do here is you can use a tool called netexec and check the privileges or let's say authentication if Samir has any access to any SMB shares. So in this scenario, what I'll do is NHC SMB, because we have to test SMB, and set the IP, and I'll set the username to Samir and the password to netshare42, and I'll try to see if Samir actually has any access. Once again, visiting back to the Nmap scan, once the Nmap is properly run, you can see that you have certain access, certain shares, and you can, see that you have FTP open, as you can see here. As you can see, readme and notice.txt are visible. So yeah. Okay. In this scenario, you can see netshare42, the password, and Samir, the user, are actually they're in the system, and you can actually access them. So what you can do here is now check what shares this user has. Okay. So here you can see Samir has read access to a couple of shares. In this, you can see there is a home directory for Samir. So we can understand that there is a user named Samir in the machine, and he has a home directory as well. He has read access here, and he also has some access to shared docs. So this is not a normal share. So we can try to see if there's anything interesting in that share. So for this, you can use a tool named SMB client. So this we can use it with the SMB client and the IP of the machine, shared docs with the username Samir, and you don't need to give the password right away because you have a prompt. Okay. Here you can use the SMB password you used earlier, netshare42 with exclamation. And okay, we have access to that share. And you can see there's something called creds.txt. So let's get creds.txt and exit. So yeah, there's a warning for Samir saying stop using the same password with only the year changed. So there's a password for Samir, which I assume should be the SSH access for Samir. So what you can do here is, so mind you, this box is created in 2025. So let's think that this is 2025 and Samir might have changed his password, and it might be Samir 2025 instead of 2021. So what I'm trying to do now is trying to log in through SSH and see if I can log in directly. So let's see, SSH Samir at machine IP, enter. Okay, let's initially start with the 2021 password. As you can see, we don't have access. So we can paste that again, remove the one, make it 2025. You can't see it because this is the normal general way of Linux. You can't see the password when you type it. And you can enter. Okay, we get initial access as Samir. So let's see what's in his home directory. As you can see, he has the user flag. The user.txt is the current flag for user. So let's get this, get user.txt. And we have a flag here. This is our first flag. So what we can do now is go here and submit the flag. Okay, so you see, we did the first part of the machine. So moving to the next part, this is privilege escalation. When it comes to Linux, there are a couple of things you can move with. So I have a small cheat sheet here which I came across on GitHub. The first few are something that we usually use in CTF boxes. So abusing sudo right. So we can check if Samir, this user, has sudo access. So let's see sudo there, Samir's password. Hold on. Samir's password is Samir that. Okay, so Samir doesn't have sudo permission. So in that scenario, this is out. So what you can do next is, go to SUID binaries and check what SUID binaries are present in this machine. So let's go to this article here. So I've already opened it up. So in this, it explains what SUID binaries are, and they give you a specific command to check if there are any SUID binaries present in a certain machine. So in this scenario, I'll use that command, and I'll try to find if we have any SUID binaries that are not usually present. So in this case, there are a couple of SUID binaries which exist normally in a machine. So coming across this, there is one machine. So this is the SUID binary that is usually not present within a normal Linux machine. So okay, we have a SUID binary with root permissions. What can we do next? So something you can do next is check how to gain use this SUID privilege to whatever the binary you're using through this specific website called GTFO bins. So when you go to GTFO bins, you can specifically like search for whatever the specific binary is. In this case, it's file. So you can see we have a file here. This has SUID binary. So in this case, what you can do here is use file space dash f and whatever the file you want to read. So in the scenario of CTF, what you have to do next is try to get the root flag. So let's try to get the root flag normally, which I don't think will be possible. Okay, you see you can't read the root.txt without any root permissions. So what we're going to do now is we are trying to abuse the SUID privilege in the specific binary and try to read the root.txt flag. So let's go with file dash f root, the location of the root flag, and root.txt, and oh my bad. And you can see you can get the root flag here. So this is how you get like usually do a full bound machine. So you can go back, go to the root flag, and submit the flag here. So yeah, so that is how we usually do a full bound machine. Also, since you guys will be coming across web challenges, I created one small challenge as well, so you guys can have a better understanding on how let's say a XSS challenge works on the web side of things. So what I'll be doing is I'll give you guys a small brief walkthrough on the XSS challenge and how you might be able to do this. So in this scenario, I'll just walk you guys through a normal lab from Portugal and also show you how this would be happening in one of our CDFs. So in this, what they want us to do is use cross-site site scripting and steal a cookie. So in this, what you're going to do is you're trying to execute malicious JavaScript on, let's say, a admin's dashboard and try to steal their cookie. So this is like the most basic way. We'll be using what do you call it, XSS in a web challenge. So you guys can go to Postfigure and understand how XSS works in a like deeper level. But I just wanted to give you guys a brief like idea on how XSS works. So in this, let's say this is all about assuming, because web challenges might be going through like different scenarios. So in this scenario, what you have is you have a custom assurance portal where you can send reviews to a specific admin user or someone who's managing the site. So in this, what you can do is try to replicate the same thing which we did previously, like which was presented in the Portugal. So what you have to do here is try to get the flag of uh, whoever, the cookie of the admin user, which is the flag in this scenario, by executing malicious JavaScript. So I came with the what do you call it, payload previously prepared. Depending on the scenario, this might change as well. So yeah, let's go here. So this is a scenario it worked. Let me create a new webhook and let me give you a sample of the script. So what we're gonna do here is, so this is the payload. In this, what we're trying to do is, imitate the function of an image and try to, import it through a different URL. Okay. And in this scenario, what we're doing is we're sending this one malicious JavaScript to the admin user through the portal, and this would render in the malicious in the admin dashboard as a HTML tag. So the administrator would not see this, but this would be run in the background. And what this is gonna do is this is gonna send a specific request to this specific URL, and this is gonna send it with the flag cookie. And what it's doing here is it's gonna get the cookie of the specific session which this is being viewed from. So if I'm viewing this through my browser, it's gonna run in my browser and take my cookie and send it to where the malicious act is. So let me get the webhook and let me edit here. So this is made last moment. So if this has some issues, don't worry. So yeah, let's say we send this, and what it's gonna do is it's gonna run in the background, and you're gonna get a payload like this. So in this scenario, you stole in the admin's cookie, and it seems to be encrypted. Here, what we're gonna do is go back to a tool which man introduced called Cybersecurity. And we can let's say you don't know what this specific encoding technique is, you can go with magic and try to identify what this is. So here you can see you come up with the first result, that is from base 64, and you can see a flag. So this is the general format of how CTF would work in the web context if it's a XSS challenge. So this is what I wanted to give you guys an idea on. And also, if you guys are familiar with CTFs, or if you're not familiar with CTFs, go to Portsfigure, try out these challenges. You can go to the academy, and they have all these challenges starting from SQL and cross-site scripting and everything. So they have a bunch of labs which is free for everyone. You guys can go check them out. You all can go to Hack the Box, play CTFs there. You can play CTFs at Pico CTF. What I recommend for you guys for this event is go to Pico CTF and practice there as much as you can, because this is gonna be a beginner CTF, and we'll give you guys the best experience we can from our end with the challenges. And this to be ready for it, go practice in Pico CTF, understand techniques which are used in CTFs, and take notes of everything, because you might once remember, okay, I've done this somewhere, but what did I do? So you don't want to be thinking what I did. So always have notes on what you do. And yeah, so that is it from my side. So yeah, we can conclude the session. Over to you guys again.
Thank you very much for that insightful and valuable session. We truly appreciate your time and the knowledge you shared with us. Thank you. Finally, I would like to invite Ms. Yumani Yuhansa, Assistant Secretary of the Leo Club of University of Vavuniya, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. As we conclude Hydra CFT 2026 awareness session 2, I would like to sincerely thank our speakers Kalindu Kodituaku and Yuan Trimavitana for their valuable insight and engaging session. We also extend our gratitude to Legion Offensive Security for their support. Our heartful appreciation goes to the Mozilla Campus Club of University of Vavuniya for organizing this session, and to the Leo Club of University of Vavuniya for their collaboration. Finally, thank you to all participants for your enthusiasm. Have great evening. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining us today. Stay connected for more updates on Hydra CTF 2026. Have a great evening.